To see examples of what we talked about on this episode, along with further information, go to bunchofdorks.com.
Welcome, everyone, to
Two Dimension Podcast,
the comic book podcast
With No Direction. Two-dimension. Two-dimension. What's up, everybody? You know that song, you know this voice. It's your boy Rook, and I have two wonderful gentlemen who have joined my insanity today, as we do probably the first comic book purge of my collection in 20 years. With me, as always, is the man with the plan. It's Mr. Don Moore.
Hello, everybody.
And the one and only, coming up from nowhere, it's Dallas.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, bud?
Not much, man. Walked in here and it looks like a comic book shop.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
wait,
I
you
mean,
got
the
everything
house
set
always
up.
looks like a comic book shop, let's be honest.
That's
I
true.
mean, collectibles everywhere, but stacks and stacks of books, 2 tables full. Yeah, please, gentlemen, take some books.
let's just explain to people. When he's doing the purge, I came in and said, "Can we do a show too?" So this is going to be more disjointed than normal here. I'm going to say, Rugg basically made me go through the tables, and I'm like, you don't get anything I want, and I ended up getting about 12 of them.
Yeah, see, I don't want any of this crap. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, you don't want the Nicole Simpson story comic book?
Okay,
Come on,
this is
Don.
one thing I wanted to do the show about, because some of these comics you have, I didn't know that existed.
We have Mr. T and the T-Force comic book.
What are these from? Who published these?
We have Married with Children with 3D glasses.
Is this Now Comics?
So Now Comics.
So Now Comics was the Mr. T.
I remember
Good call.
as a kid, that was kind of the hotness. Like, I always wanted the Married with Children, the Ralph Snart,
Yep.
the Ghostbusters comics.
Yeah,
Those were
Ralph
big.
Snart, I remember.
Yeah.
So both Mr. T and Married with Children are Now Comics. Awesome pick on that. The Nicole Simpson one is First Amendment Publishing, and this is actually issue number 5. Number 5. What? Like, okay.
That's
Yeah, that one definitely goes. Those 3 go.
I can understand why they put that, because that was massive. I was working nights at the time, and everybody kept talking about O.J. Simpson and Chase, and I missed all that because I was working. But then my neighbor next door said she recorded it on a VHS tape if I ever want to watch it. Well, no, she said it was ridiculous. Everybody was glued to their TV watching it. Come to find out in the newspaper, they were talking about they had an article about Domino's Pizza. And they were talking about the busiest there ever was during that chase.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to do anything. So
So-
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a huge thing. So
It-
of course somebody made a comic book out of
It's
it.
one of those, at the time, around the 90s, early 90s, they were doing comic books about everything.
Oh yeah.
And when you were talking about Now Comics, I went to remember mailboxes, etc.? They advertised them on the radio all the time. We advertised them at work, but they were little post office. They were set up in strip malls, and you could get everything boxed up. They'd box it up for you, mail it out, and they had little stores in them and stuff. Sometimes they were massive. But anyway, Myrna and I went to one of them, and against the wall, the guy was really into the Honeymooners. He had pictures of the Honeymooners up there. And he had, I think, 6 issues from Now Comics of the Honeymooners. I thought,
Really?
Really.
That's so funny.
But he was so proud of them. But I mean, they had everything sticks to the wall. So anyway, that's interesting. There was something else you had here.
There's a lot here. There's a lot here. And every last bit of it that's on the tables at the moment is going one way or another.
What is Eureka? I just picked up this
Okay,
comic
Eureka was a sci-fi network television series. I really liked the TV series. I picked up the book. It's just more Eureka stories.
I've got to say, so it says it came out in 2009, cover price of $3.99. This thing is so skinny, it feels like there's 10 pages in it.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't worth the read. I mean, it was disappointing.
I do love picking up this pile. brings me back to our childhood.
Oh, dude.
Some of the
Have
Robin
you looked through that entire
miniseries.
pile yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, wait till you see what else is in there.
But I see there were multiple Robin miniseries
Right.
back in the 90s, which was Tim Drake, right?
Yep.
The third Robin. And of course, it was the 90s, so all of them had different variant covers.
Mm-hmm.
And these are like the holographic covers.
Yeah, all
Oh
still
my
sealed in
gosh.
bags and crap.
And these things, you will see so many of these in the dollar boxes at the comic shop, right?
What's that one?
I don't know.
Necroscope? I have no idea what that is.
Oh, The Return of Superman?
The Return of Superman, The Death of Superman. There's a Malibu comic in here. Catwoman #1. Lobo Blazing Chain of Love. Legacy of the Supermen. Yeah. Some of this comes out of a collection that was given to me. I had a nice big long box of comic books that somebody who passed, and it was all given to me. I got a friend of mine, Matt, came over, picked up all the Valiant and all the Image out of that collection yesterday. Yeah.
You know,
Like, you think about it, those old Image and Valiant books, you're looking at what, $2-3 value. You know,
Sometimes.
once in a while you'll find one that's worth like $20. You know,
and a lot of times you find them in the dollar box, the same ones.
yeah. And Matt has a particular like for those books from the 90s, so that's what he collects. So you know what?
That's how it should be. You know, if you like them.
Yep.
One thing about that Robin with the holographic cards you're talking about, that one just, every time I hear that, it makes my blood boil. Because every store I went to at the time had all of them up on the wall.
Yep.
And that's okay. But I was in one store, and this is during the whole big speculator boom. Comics were big. They were putting them in grocery stores again, which is nice. But I went in a store I don't like, and there was a kid there with his parents, and he had birthday money. And he decided he's going to collect comics, because that was a thing. And so the parents introduced him to the owner of the store. And the owner of the store was trying to sell him this Robin miniseries. It was basically 12 issues, but it was only 4 issues. And anyway, while they're talking, the mother says, "It's only 4 issues?" And that's all she said. And later the boy said, "Well, I don't want them," because he wanted to read them. And he didn't want, 12 issues of a 4-issue series. And the guy in the store pulled, "Well, when I was a kid, I always thought it'd be neat if we did this, and now you got a chance to do that." I know. And the father pulled the kid aside, chastised him, "Listen, if you're going to be serious about this, you need to listen to this guy, because he knows what he's talking about."
Oh, come on.
And I'm standing behind the father going through the racks. I'm looking at the kid, and I'm shaking my head.
Don't get it.
The
Don't
mom
do
saw
it.
me, but the kid's just listening and says, "No, that's completely wrong." And now you find them in the dollar box.
Yeah.
He was paying prime money for that.
Oh, yeah.
And once if you have the Robin miniseries with the holographic cards and it makes you happy, that's good.
Yeah. But once again, we talk about this all the time. Do not buy on speculation. I mean,
100.
speculation is just, it's an idiot's game. It's a fool's errand. So.
But we had Promi on the show at one time, and he was, what was that name? What was that game he was talking about? Fortnite? Was that Fortnite with the skins? You could get Batman skins and stuff to put on your characters.
Fortnite.
His son was playing it, and they had the Marvel characters. So he was asking me about books to get. And when I was telling him, well, you can go here, and he said, what I'm wanting to do is find books that you guys read that you fell in love with and kept reading comics. And that's it.
Yeah.
To be into comics, you have to find things you like and read. And
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to
that's
speculate,
the whole thing with comics.
yeah.
You have to grab the stuff that you enjoy. So.
Saying that, I was surprised that Wacky Raceland is in the goodbye pile, and I even called Rook out on this because on the show, Rook was talking with massive enthusiasm.
Because it was interesting, but here's the thing, Don, you see how many books are laid out across this table. You see how little space I have in these file cabinets now. If I want to keep collecting, stuff has to go. I've got 3 piles over there that need to be filed, and then inside the cabinet itself, I have 2 rows that need to be filed. Okay? So...
I'm sure it was hard to say goodbye to a lot of these books.
Nah.
I'm sure it wasn't very easy.
Nah.
Well, there was one
I know
pile.
they're all going to cool places.
That's true.
There was one pile I questioned. I said, "You're getting rid of these?" No.
Oh yeah, my
Get away from
my
that.
Spanish comics from Barcelona. Yeah, no, those aren't going anywhere, man. No, my Barcelona comics don't go nowhere.
Well, it made me happy, but I'm kind of surprised at some of the stuff you're getting rid of, and I understand, but
You know, it just is what it is right now, man. It's time to let go. Time to send these on to new homes, new readers. You know, who's to say one of these doesn't land in the hand of a kid who starts his new love for comic books?
Find a kid that really wants to get into superheroes. Give him this, the Jeff Johns JSA run.
Yeah.
Because it is superior. That is high quality superhero read right there,
Yeah.
man.
All right, so you guys have been through the tables. You're good. You don't want any of this stuff.
yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I took some X-Men.
You took. Oh, I knew you would take some X-Men,
Yeah.
dude. I knew you would take some X-Men.
Well.
There was some X-Men sitting over here somewhere, wasn't there?
There was. I'm an unashamed X-Men fan from decades ago, and I
Yeah.
haven't read an X-Men book in over 10 years. So.
Don, I just put these on the table. I don't know if you're going
Okay,
through that
I'll look
stack.
through 'em.
There might be some stuff in there that you find interesting.
Now, while we're doing this, I had asked Dallas when he came if he'd bring me a series that he got called Luther Arkwright.
Which, in an ironic twist, the very first episode of this podcast, I talked about and
Yeah.
reviewed Luther Arkwright, The Original Adventures of Luther Arkwright, by Brian Talbot. Good stuff.
I was the reason I want to read it, and when I say this, I don't mean to be offensive, but I'm going to say it anyway.
To be offended.
This is episode 50 again?
No, but
Shall I get the whiskey out, gentlemen?
I'm going to say we always bag on episode 50, but episode 29 was the one that really peels the paint off the walls and burns all the grass.
I don't think
So
we should be advertising any of that.
I got you,
No,
but I'm just
no,
saying
no, let's not
50's
talk
there,
about-
but the other one.
These are things that shall not be named.
But I was surprised what Dallas was getting these. The saying is comics are subjective. Everybody's got different taste. And once used to be a bunch of us would order off of an online seller. We do it together so we save on shipping. And one guy we worked with was so excited. Can I see what you're getting? And then he saw some of the titles he was questioning, like Bob Hope. But the person getting the Bob Hope comics absolutely loved them. So anyway, I was surprised when Dallas was searching out Luther Arkwright, and I'm thinking, why would anybody want to read this? But nevertheless, I asked Dallas to read it, and the reason why was I found out we had the Octobriana guy on the show, and Octobriana shows up in Luther Arkwright, and I'd asked you about it, and that makes me read it. And I've heard other people. We've had some guests in the show that's mentioned the comics. And the Rook had just lent me, we were talking about Black Adam on one episode. He brought me a mini-series of it, so, I read it. And this isn't something that I would have bought. As a matter of fact, if I went to the store and saw it, I guess I probably did, I just passed it over. But I enjoyed reading it. It was kind of interesting. When I finished one issue, I was happy to get the next issue and read it.
Except for issue 2, which was misfiled.
That's okay. Now, there were some key things that happened. I'm like, wait a minute, this.
Isn't that always the case when you got an issue like not there, and it's like, oh wait a minute, what happened here?
Well, because I guess they explained that he couldn't use the magic word, I guess Shazam, to turn into Black Adam. Mm-hmm. And he started saying ISIS. And then,
yeah,
That's right.
Have you read that?
yeah.
I thought that was, I didn't understand. He goes, and they kept saying he can't be Black Adam long, and I thought, why? Well, because he was sucking the life force out of his dead wife.
Yeah.
He's trying to bring back. And but as you read the comic, you start to realize what it was. Then you find out it was kind of odd. It surprised me how he learned what the Marvels changed the magic word to. Mm-hmm. Oh, isn't that interesting? Anyway.
Alright, I'm just making a move here for putting everything on one singular table. I have a whole nother row of unbag boarded to sort.
So, ironically, I've done a couple massive purges over the years, and I did a really big purge quite a few years ago. And so, looking at the the amount of comics that you're getting rid of is probably the amount of comics that I have these days.
Well, I mean, like, I have an incredibly huge collection, and I just, I love my comics, but it's one of those things where this is something you have to do when you're confined to a certain amount of space. So, is this all to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, Dallas, when we first met up, you purged a bunch of books. You were always purging.
Yeah, I did. And for the exact reason...
Comedy variant of the Punisher, the Pummeler.
The Pummeler. Same reason as Rook, though. As many people, you run out of space, right?
Yeah.
I don't have an extra room like Rook does dedicated to just comics and cool artifacts.
Well, the thing is when I got the filing cabinets, I always had it in my head that I am now confined to 2 5-drawer level filing cabinets for the collection. That was always in my head. I knew that was going to be the case. So, like, as time went on and the cabinets filled up, I just kind of got a little panicky and was like, oh boy, this ain't good. This is going to become a problem. Well, that's why a purge is needed. Get rid of the stuff that, you've been holding on to. I mean, like, look at these stacks of books. Oh, I already found one in here that's a keeper.
I was going to say, don't get rid of Death.
Yeah, Death. That's a gallery book, too.
I know, I remember that one.
Yeah. But,
Well, we're talking about that. I went on a trip a
Oh my
couple of years
goodness.
ago.
I found another copy of this.
Yeah.
I have 3 copies of Mystery Incorporated
Well,
#1.
I gave some of those to you.
Did you?
Because I went through
You'll never have as many as Don.
Well, no, the reason why was I went to one store and this guy had a book of quarter books. But if you bought several, it's like you could get 5 for $1. And I found those. So I bought you a set, and I bought, Rook a set.
I remembered. I always appreciated that because being Alan Moore, it's I loved it, and it's just clever and fun and a beautiful homage to the Silver Age.
Well, and I say this on the show all the time. What I loved about those, I didn't buy them when they came out. I bought one. I bought the Fury, and then I bought Horus. Because they were neat. The other ones I didn't pick up. But what I loved about those books was all the ads. And there was like a bullpen bulletin thing. And
Yeah, like the vintage style, but they were real, like they were just made up for the book. They weren't actually 60s ads.
They were like a Marvel comic in the 60s. But the one that sold me was the ads. And there was, these classified ads the comics had, all the gimmicks and stuff. But they had stickers. You could send in like $1 for 500 stickers, and they were all defunct comic book companies. And they had Alan Moore's Mad Love sticker on it. They had Rick Veitch's Spider Baby Graphics, I think it was. And then I think John Toddleben had one. All the people that worked in the book, it had their... I thought that was one...
That's pretty good.
Self-depreciating, but it was funny. It was stuff like that made me... Besides, those 2 books, I think are some of the neatest comics I'd read.
I do agree, and not just the ads, but the stories themselves are a lot of just winks and nods to people that understand and know how Silver Age comics worked, and they know about the industry back then.
So anyway, I remember the store I bought one, the Fury at. They made a big poster board collage. It said Alan Moore returns to greatness, and it had the logos and stuff. And they were really pushing this book. But I guess a lot of times at the time, the comic stores would order like more copies than they could ever sell, thinking it was going to be an evergreen title that they would charge. And because you find them in dollar boxes, but he had all of them, and I thought, okay, everybody needs a set.
I feel like a major problem was, at the time, unless you were a fan, that was still kind of niche in the comic book market, right? So if you're a casual comic fan or a person walking into a comic shop buying a book judged on just a cover, you're going to see this kind of retro 60s style cover, and you're probably going to pass up on it for something that looked more quote-unquote modern at the time.
Or if you're an idiot and you think, ooh, look at this old comic for dirt cheap.
Or that too. And in that respect, maybe you lucked out and you actually discovered something really, really cool that you never expected to.
Right?
There was 5 or 6 issues. I can't remember how many there actually were.
I think 6.
But it was supposed to be 8. They stopped working on it. And one of the people involved, it's not Gibbons, it's not Veach or Toddleben, but it's whoever the other guy was. He's still trying to get the thing going. But Alan Moore what was happening was the next couple issues, and I guess the last was going to be a double-sized one, was going to tie into the current Image comics. Youngblood, Spawn, all that stuff. And so you'd have the Silver Age stuff facing off with, the
90s.
Yeah, the 90s guys. And which is clever. I mean, that's how Alan Moore thinks. But I think by the time they got to that, that's when I think Rob Liefeld was no longer with Image, and a lot of stuff started happening, and so it wouldn't have worked. And
I think shortly after that is when Alan Moore started his America's Best Comics line, right? I think so.
It could be.
That was like late 90s.
A lot of things happen, and he won't go back to it. But one guy really wants to finish the thing out, which it could have been neat, but it's of its time, But anyway, yeah. Every time I go through dollar boxes, I always think that I can't help but think all the people involved in the comic, besides the writer and the artist and stuff, but all the people behind the scenes, the marketing people, the finance people, and all the plans and dreams they had for it, and now it's just fodder in a dollar box, which, I appreciate, because I get them and love them, but I'm looking at all the stuff Rook's putting out. But yeah, I've Purged.
Dude, you should see some of the stuff that's in the stacks I'm going through right now. This is some old stuff. Look at this. Electric Warrior from DC.
I remember those.
Airboy.
Airboy.
Psycho Blast.
But those were popular comics at the time.
I do see just a random...
The Incredible Hulk.
I have that one.
Yeah, look at that. I love that. That's Where the Wild Things Are, homage cover. I love that.
Yeah, I love that one
Still
too.
Oh, there's a dread.
I see a Jademan book over there. Oriental Heroes. I
Oh,
know.
you're gonna see another. You're gonna see more of those coming up here. There's a stack of them in these books that have.
I know how Don feels about Jademan comics. We talked about it in years past on the show. But Rook and I always had a kind of special history with those books.
Yeah,
As kids, we collected them, and at the time...
You still have them? You still have
I do. I have the majority of my Oriental Heroes was the name of the title that I collected. At the time, I think Rook collected maybe a couple, but Drunken Fist was the big one that I remember Rook buying. And I used to love them just because I had never... my only exposure to Eastern comics was typical manga, and this wasn't that.
No.
This is Thailand.
It was.
And so it was really, really
Hong
cool.
Kong. They were
Hong Kong. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Jade Man Comics.
Well,
Best
that was
stack so far.
the thing.
So
was
far.
when those came out, Mike Barron, I guess he scripted them, and he was in an interview talking about before they came out.
Why is that not in a?
I didn't know it was
Classic.
there.
Rook's holding
the
an old
first-
issue of the Punisher, and his hands are trembling now.
Well, it's the Punisher #1. Is it a first printing though?
That's what I'm looking at.
I'm not surprised you have it, but I'm just surprised that it's
Volume
not.
2, number 1, July
Oh.
1987. It's a
Okay,
reprint.
second print.
That's why it's in there. I know. All of a sudden I'm like, what?
Yeah, your hands are trembling.
Have I ever told you guys this? Hold on, I'm gonna pull a book out of the collection real quick. I gotta tell you this story. So, some of this stuff came from a collection from somebody who collected way back in the day. She's telling me she collected in the 60s, the 70s, and like her mom collected before that. So I open up the box and I start going through the collection, and I find this.
Oh,
I remember
Tales
that.
from the Crypt, number 1. You want to talk
Shut
about
the
hands
front door.
tremble? Hands trembled. I went and immediately got a pair of gloves, right? I got the gloves, and I'm gently opening the cover because it's pretty worn. It's beat up. Yeah, I know. And I'm so freaking thrilled because we're talking potentially thousands here. I open up the cover. 1980s reprint.
Well, all you have to do, Rook, is look at the barcode because
I know.
those didn't exist.
I know. Listen, I wasn't thinking about that. My brain was going, oh my god, oh my god.
A fun little anecdote, during the Halloween season, usually the last week of September, I always pull out my tablet. Now, I know recently Don got a Humble Bundle, digital comics. Years ago, I got a Humble
That's
Bundle.
an original.
Oh wow.
Okay. I got a Humble Bundle of Tales from the Crypt and even some Warren comics. And so every holiday season, every single night, I will read at least one Tales from the Crypt book or a Warren book too.
Yeah.
And I love it.
You know, we have on the blog, on the sidebar, we have a list of publishers, the ages of comics. And, it starts with the Golden Age. Basically, we talk about this in the show, there was the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, and the Modern Age, which is, according to this list, is still going on. The Comic Book Historians, a really good podcast, they broke it down to Platinum Age, this and that. And League of Comic Geeks, which has completely obsessed my life since I've joined these people.
Oh, yeah.
They have their own timeline of comics, which I don't know, I think kind of is more of a reflection, because I don't think the modern age should be the way it is now. But anyway, on the blog I have the ages of comics and I have all the publishers during those ages, of which there are many. But in the Golden Age there was Ziff Davis, which did really racy comics, like He-Man comics, guys with knives fighting snakes and the woman screaming, they're out in the jungle, they're all stuff like that. I didn't know Ziff Davis is still around. They do the Humble Bundle.
Oh, okay.
Humble Bundle is Ziff Davis. I thought, wait a minute, so Dallas is getting Ziff Davis stuff. They're not publishing work anymore, but they're putting those out. But yeah, they had I can't think of the man's name, but the writer of Lone Wolf and Cub and Pat the Assassin and Samurai
I can't think of it
Executioner.
right now.
Oh,
yeah.
But they had Crying Freeman and another book that I never heard of, so I got them. And talk about anal, it's a pain because I downloaded them and they're not in order, so I had to go in and rename them because they're all mixed up anyway.
What else you got over there?
I think this is everything out of the bins. No, 51.
Oh, he's got Sin City.
I think I was thinking of my mom's address.
All right. So I got a couple more stacks for you guys.
Oh, let's look through and let's talk about what else you got going here.
There you go. Those two stacks are goers. So if you see anything you like, snatch them up.
All right, Don, we're gonna pass this right down the lane.
But of course, I also want to just talk for a second about this fat stack that I love that I have. This is like my third full collection of the Age of Apocalypse. These are all unbagged, unboarded. I've got two other full runs of this series all bagged and boarded. Yeah. And then like as I'm going through that stack that was just in front of you guys, I find these other ones. So those have to all get sorted out eventually. Oh, man. I'm telling you. The hardest part about this is, like, how soon can somebody get here to pick up the rest of this stuff?
Well,
so anyone listening,
by the time this is published, it'll be too late. They'll be gone.
no, a friend of mine I went to college with, I went to see him and I brought a big box of these comics that, and later he asked me, he says, what's the story in these? Why do you have them? Why did you get rid of them? Well, a lot of them were dollar box finds and stuff that I bought. I mean, I did like it at the time, but is what Rook was saying with space. And, there weren't things I went back and reread or used, for reference or anything. That's great. I bought that series. That was a free comic book day. What was it? Border? Barriers. That was interesting. I bought the comic. I got the free comic. And then I looked them up. And they're longer. The comics are taller. It's a landscape comic, but the guy said they're only going to put out the issues. They're never going to put it out in any kind of trade. And so
kind of like, remember Sunday comics from back in the day? Even though they did release that in the trade. But
Barriers, it was neat. And when you got it and saw the whole thing, it was really something.
Oh, man. It's crazy. Oh, you know what?
Oh, Mars. I love this series.
What series?
Mars.
Mars?
They did 12 issues. This was one of my favorite series from first. My buddy Brett liked it too, and then they canceled it after the 12th issue.
Yeah.
Oh, Sisterhood of Steel. That's a great one too.
These two stacks are going as well. There's a lot of Farscape comic books in here, actually. Remember that series on Sci-Fi?
There was many of them, right? There wasn't just one.
Well, there was Farscape and then Farscape Peacekeeper Wars.
Well, I'm thinking of Stargate.
Yeah, that had a crap ton of stuff. Which is funny because like two of the actors from Farscape end up on Stargate later years.
There's just a treasure trove, like an embarrassment of riches here, though, as far as variety of the stuff that you've got out here. It's not just like a bunch of old Marvel comics or old DC comics. You've got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, well, and that's part of the fun of the whole thing is being able to have all this weird, random stuff, you know? I mean, like at one point, I would just give some of these away to people who'd show up here with kids and everything, you know?
And I know you've talked about it on the show before, but that's just the best thing to do, to expose kids to comic books and just get them into something they might actually like.
Absolutely it is.
I got another pile here.
Let's stop for a music break.
Past You can hear our most recent 20 episodes on iTunes. If you would like to hear our older episodes, you can find them on our blog. Just go to bunchofdorks.com and click on the Cyclops.
Your Dimension can be found on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. If you like what you hear, you can subscribe, rate, leave a review, tell a friend, or like us on Facebook. Thanks for listening.
That was one of my songs off my album Sharp Cuts and Shallow Hearts. You could find it's just look me up, Dallas Bushett, and it's like on Spotify, Apple Music, all the things.
Wait a minute, you got another one?
No, that one's been out for like a year or so, but
Well, I remember Moral Compass. How many have you done?
I've done 3. And I'm in the middle of working on a 4th one. I've just been really slow about it because life and I'm slow. But yeah, there's some fun stuff on there. So go check it out.
It'll be on the blog.
So, Purge done. Technically. I still have a table full of books that need to go away.
And it's a big table. I mean, when you say table full of books, it's a table full of stacks and stacks of books.
Yes. Yeah. It's a table full of stacks of books.
This is definitely
This is what, probably a long box and a half, at least?
I would say probably 2 solid long boxes.
Now, let's put some context to this, because Rook lent me several issues of Black Adam. And I'm reading them last night, some of them. And my wife says, "Are those new?" And I said, "No, they're Rook's." So I guess that's a hint that I can't bring any more comics, which that's going to be a rude awakening.
No, you can, because look at how many comics I'm getting rid of.
Join us next week as we do Purging at Dawn's house.
I mean, in all honesty, if you guys come and take a look at the cabinets,
yeah, let's take a look and see how much space you've now saved.
So it's not going to look like a lot in certain spots. I mean, drawer 1 didn't get a lot of stuff pulled out of it, and it was already pretty full. But the next series of drawers will give me space to be able to expand and be able to move more comic books around. Drawer 2 did not get anything pulled from it. This is all Ghost Rider, Green Lantern, Hack Slash. There is literally no space in this.
You could put books sideways here.
Oh, I could put books sideways there, but I don't want to.
He's a purist, Don.
Yeah.
I would have done it.
So here's the thing, real quick, just to give a little more context about all your comics and how they're stored. I know you've done some YouTube videos, right, showing what these look like.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just wondering if the listeners have an opportunity to see what your collection looks like.
It's a pretty old video. It's over 5 years old. It was actually when this entire setup was in a completely different room to begin with as well. But yeah, it's still basically the same. Everything is... So each drawer has 4 rows of comics in it. Each drawer is alphabetical...
Numerically?
Numerically, thank you. Wow, words escape me right now.
I caught them.
It's alphabetically and numerically put in order.
Now, when you say 4 rows, some of them look like they have more than 4 rows, but each row is about the depth of a short box.
Yeah, well, it depends. So, set of drawers 1, you can only fit 4 rows in for each drawer. Cabinet 2, I can fit 5 rows in. So I fit 5 rows in. And so that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drawers out of 2 5-drawer lateral filing cabinets, which realistically they're only 4 drawers and then the top. But across the top, as you see, I've got all my graphic novels on display. I've got a lot of collectibles on display. So, this is the space I have to work with. So, but what's neat is once you start getting into drawer 4, you can see that there's space here. Like I said, two of these 5 rows are stuff that needs to be organized, put in properly. The last drawer is literally magazines that I'm not ready to deal with the magazines yet. Row 2 is a lot of old horror comic books, that entire run of Age of Apocalypse, with some various other stuff.
The original run of Age of Apocalypse.
The original run. And then 2 more rows of comics that need to get put away. So, that is a damn good Purge in my eyes.
It is, and this is it's an impressive collection to begin with, and I can see where it's getting super full and kind of tight in this area and the space that you've got. So I'm glad we got the opportunity to do this.
Yeah. It's kind of scary because now that I'm looking at it, now that everything's back in drawers that's going to stay, I'm looking at it going, ooh, I really hope I don't need to do this again.
You're like, I still need more room.
Well, no, I don't think I really need more space. I need to go through what I have and recategorize, reset everything. Because the bottom drawers, here's the neat thing, the bottom drawers are not full of comic books. There's a reason for that. I don't want the bottom drawers, God forbid we ever had a flood in this house, to be full of comic books, because in alphabetical order, that will put things like my X-Men, my Walking Dead in the bottom drawer.
Oh, God,
so these
dagger through the heart.
Yeah, so both of these bottom drawers of both of these are filled with role-playing game material. Yeah. Be it miniatures, books, paints.
Still have any old Robotech books? Well, you do. They're probably ones I gave you son of a gun. Oh my gosh, that's the guy!
Robotech role-playing game.
I wonder
Palladium
if that's one
Books
I gave
presents Robotech. This might be the one you gave me, or I was gifted a collection of RPG books that had Robotech, BattleTech, a bunch of Vampire Masquerade stuff as well.
Now, I only bring up Robotech because that was the very first...
Shadowrun.
That was the first pen and paper role-playing game I ever played.
Yeah. Well, I think it was that, and then we played Star Wars.
Yes, which was all just six-sided die. It wasn't any special die.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Yeah, and I just kept going crazy with the RPG stuff. I mean, Cripe, you see, the comics are currently sitting on my gaming table.
I know.
Yeah, this beautiful folding gaming table that one of the players bought for the group. And it has accessories that should be coming in the next couple weeks as well.
Sweet. Looks like a pool table.
Yeah.
For very short people.
Well, it has 3 heights.
Yeah.
So here's the funny... Dallas actually missed this.
Yeah.
Earlier when Don got here, okay? So I only have 7-foot ceilings. I've got the pendant light hanging in the middle of the room. And I've got the table set at the lowest possible setting. Okay? So what do? I get the giant to stand between the table and the pendant light so I can get a picture.
He's like Gandalf in Bilbo's house.
He is. He literally is Gandalf in Bilbo's house in this picture. Because the table is so low. I think the table is actually below your knees, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a cool table, man. So... Dang. Yeah, that's it. So now it just becomes a matter of checking in with somebody who said they want to do a bulk buyout.
Right.
If he comes by, takes a look, decides he does or doesn't want anything, everything after that, it gets handed out to friends' kids or donated or off it goes somewhere else. I mean...
I'm sure the kids would enjoy that Penthouse comics you got.
Oh, listen, that thing is not going anywhere. That's going in the trash can due to the content on the cover. Okay? Don's referring to the collection that I got from somebody who passed had a Penthouse comic book. And on the cover, bright as day, is a big old Nazi swastika. So that one's going absolutely nowhere. It's going in the trash can, buddy. I'm not passing that one along. Absolutely not.
That's the issue, though, about some comics. Was when we were kids, when I was a kid, you get a comic that usually have about 3 stories in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were happy, bright things. Now, you give a kid a comic, and it's part of a 6-part story.
Yeah.
And
right?
it's not really...
You can't just... Yeah, it's not a one and done. You can't just grab
It's
a
not
fun
really-
book and
yeah.
have a good time.
Not really kid-friendly.
Yeah.
It's not really...
You gotta be super careful handing a kid a comic book these days.
Yeah, because they're written for guys our age.
Yeah. Well, either that or they were written, back in the 90s where there really wasn't, there was a lot of body dysmorphia, shall we say,
Oh,
to
yeah,
character
it's
design. Okay. We're going to have to stack these a little taller, I think.
I like the fact that Dallas just immediately started throwing in with the work, and I'm just sitting around like,
Let's keep that out. That's going in the trash can.
Well, we're now taking all of the books that you're getting rid of and moving them from one table to the other. So this is good pod right here.
Yeah, this is great pod right here. Well, the whole reason I'm doing this is so I can break down that table and
Well, you have to use it for your campaign.
Well, yeah, I have to use it for the campaign, but that's not happening for a while. So, I'm at this point right now. It's just a matter of what. I've had 2 weeks to play with this project. It's done, and I'm just gonna stack them all out over here, and like I said, one way or another, everything on this table is going in the next couple days. Not in the trash can, though.
Not in the trash.
No, absolutely not.
Certainly
It will
not.
not go in the trash. It will go to nice new homes.
Well, there it is. There you have it.
It doesn't look like as much now. Now that it's been moved from one table to the other, it looks like a lot less, doesn't it?
Still looks like a lot to me. It's a lot of reading. I don't even know how to read, so I don't know how you guys
I don't know how to read,
that.
he says. Smart ass.
Speaking of which, did you ever read? I hate to put you on a spot while we're recording, but did you ever read that Starlight trade I gave you?
I did start it, and I did not finish it yet. So I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, what do you think so far?
I actually really, really liked it.
Yeah.
You got me some other stuff too. I'm trying to remember the titles of some of the books, but I read through.
I don't remember those. Starlight. What we're talking about, it was one of those Mark Miller books, and the artist I had never heard of before, Goran Parlov. Well, I've got other stuff he's done. He's really good, but that one I found 2 issues in a dollar box. What is this? And it looks a lot like Mobius's The Inkle.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's, he's his own person, but how he laid things out, the story doesn't, but basically the story is about an Air Force pilot that is called to this other dimension to save him. It's basically a Flash Gordon riff.
Oh, okay.
So vibrant colors.
Yeah,
It really
and he's
looks like
wearing,
it.
when he goes over there, he's wearing a Flash, some of the stuff like Flash Gordon wore. And he basically saves the universe. And the Queen asked him to stay. She's like 2 heads taller than he is. But he wants to go home. He has a wife and 2 sons. He's got a career. And he goes back, and all of a sudden, all they saw was he was a deserter. And I'm giving this away while Dallas hasn't read it all. But basically, it plays the time because it keeps showing him in real time. The story starts, and they keep showing more of this, but nobody on Earth believes it. The Air Force kind of lets him go, but the whole time they're thinking he's a crackpot. I've never read anything like that. And the way it ends is just absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite books. And Dallas had a gift card for Yancey Street. And we were in Yancey Street, and you're looking at books, and they had that trade, and I had Dallas on the ground. I had him in a full Nelson. I almost broke his arm trying to get him to buy it.
He's punching him over and over again.
And
That's just a Tuesday.
Dallas wouldn't do it, and it was embarrassing. I just kept carrying on and on. So anyway, I found it in the $5 box at Yancey Street. It's a good thing you didn't buy it then. But
Well, I can see the future, and so I knew that it was a bad idea, but I didn't want to let you know at the time that I was clairvoyant.
So anyway, I'm glad you read part of it, but it's one of my favorite books. It's a nice story, and it stands on its own, but it has a beginning, middle, and end.
Which is rare these days. Well, especially for mainstream comics.
Yeah,
For mainstream
especially.
comics, you can't get that.
So what's funny for me right now is as the boys are talking, I'm sitting here breaking down my gaming table.
It's the loud noises.
Like, Dallas is trying to help, and I love it, but it has such a precise way that it breaks down in order for everything to recompartmentalize inside of its footprint as well. it's kind of crazy. I mean, the part that kills me every time, I never remember where the crossbars go.
Oh.
I always get to this point and I'm like, all right, how do these things fit in here again, damn it?
This is a pretty wall table. I really, really like it. It's just perfect for what you.
Yeah, it's impressive, man. I mean, this was a solid gold grab on the part of the guy who got it for the group. It really makes gaming so much more pleasant, so much more enjoyable. Oh yeah, now I remember how they go. Found it. I'm such a dummy. And voila, like that, 6-foot table.
And just like that, this whole room, which is just full of your collection, has been broken down. Everything is mostly back to normal. And all these comics you're getting rid of are just on this one little table off to the corner.
That's right. That's right. How many comics do you guys think there are?
Our room is like a transformer.
I'm terrible at that because I'll you know, I can never give you a good.
They count one pile because a lot of the piles are approximately the same height. I'm really slow at counting, so.
Do 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 do.
Okay, say there's about 25 comics in a pile, right?
25 in a
Give or
pile.
take.
That's it.
But
So
okay, so let's
that's
just say you're probably looking at close to 350 to 400 comics, maybe. Because some of the piles are a little taller. I don't know. That's what I would say. Wait, are you texting somebody that was asking how many? Are you making me do the dirty work for you?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, thanks for not making me literally count every single comic, I guess.
No, Dallas, you cannot leave until you count every comic book on that table, and I want them all alphabetized, numerically put in order. God, I cannot say that word. Have you? That's the second time I fumbled over it today.
That's me every show, so no worries about it.
I feel like I'm working at a comic book shop again, though, having to do all this.
Yeah, you'd worked in a comic shop when you were a kid.
had. It was fun. The comic shop I worked at, though, was they had multiple locations, I think 4 to 5 locations. Yeah. And so I worked at one specific location, except on Tuesday, which was New Comic Day, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it was at the time. This was like early 2000s.
Thursday was the New Comic Day back then.
Maybe that's what it was. So that day, I went to the main location, which was basically like kind of a warehouse. All the new comics came in, and myself and 2 or 3 other employees would get to look at all the piles of the brand new comics that came out that day, sort them out, and and split them up between each location. This pile goes to comic shop A, this pile goes to comic shop B, and so on and so forth. And then I had the opportunity to drive to 2 or 3 of the different locations and drop off all the comics, which was really fun because then I got to see the other comic shops, see the community, and talk to some of the people that worked there and some of the patrons. It was fun. It was really, really cool. I did it while I was in night school, college, so I just worked, during the day, I think 3 to 4 days a week. It wasn't even a full week, but it was really fun. It was a really cool job.
Nice.
Not sustainable.
You worked at the tarpon store?
I worked at... Yes, yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, I went to that once. It's when The Lion King was in the theaters. Because I went there and I bought Marvel Zero. Remember the Marvels miniseries came out?
Yeah.
They put out the issue
Alex
0.
Ross.
Holly was a year old. I was carrying her, and I took my car somewhere to get tinted. And they said, we'll be here all day. So, we went to that Sonny's Barbecue and ate. And then we went over to that place. So there's a comic store there. So we got that, and then we got, Holly got the Lion King adaptation. And,
That's awesome.
so I might have seen you there.
Well, I wasn't, when The Lion King came out, I wasn't old enough to work at the time.
Oh, okay, good.
So I wasn't there.
Because I always thought, there's some punk kid. Who is this guy?
But, I didn't usually travel that far south to go shopping for comics at the time either. So I didn't even know about these comic book stores until shortly before I got the job there. Because the shops that Rook and I were going to as kids
They were right up here by us.
Right up the road
Yeah.
from us, yeah.
Yeah.
Down on Main Street. And
Yep. Well,
Ridge
do you
Road.
remember when the shop got bought out that we went to,
Yeah.
and he moved all the way to the Palm Harbor area? And as kids, that was just way too far.
Yeah, it's
Way
like,
too
obviously
far.
we didn't have cars. Obviously we didn't have easy access to it, and
Yeah.
that seemed like it could have been a million miles away.
Yeah, we were like 14, 15. You know,
Well,
when
that's the first comic store I ever saw in my life in Oklahoma City. It was. I'd have to beg my mom to take me, and she'd always not want to. So I went there a handful of times, but it was massive. Well, if you take me, I'll do this. And but there's never a comic store over by anywhere I lived,
Yeah.
even to this day. And what gets me was when I moved here to Florida, a comic store I went to moved right by my parents' house. It's still there. Oh, well, this is a bite, you know. So I'm sure if I ever sell our house, there's going to be a comic store open right up by there, a walking distance.
My first interest in comics was I was probably around 5 or 6 years old, and we lived in St. Louis, Missouri. And it was just like a spinner rack at probably a gas station or
Yeah,
some small
that's how they all
like,
work.
Walgreens style place, something like that. And I remember looking through there and seeing these books and like, what is this? These look so cool. And I didn't end up being able to buy any comics at the time. I don't think my mom got me one. But the one book on that spinner rack when I was a kid that caught my eye was a Transformers comic book.
Yep.
And I remember specifically which one it was, and I really wanted it. And then, about a year later, we moved to Florida, and I actually started buying comics for the very first time, or started getting them. And I remember looking for that issue of Transformers, and I would never be able to find that specific one. And I had the majority of the collection of that, of Transformers, well before I finally found that book, like 7 or 8 years later, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
However, back then it was a lot harder to find comics. You couldn't just go online and order them or
Yeah.
look for them. Or
Well,
Yeah.
like I was having a conversation with the guy who came and picked up all the Valiant Image stuff yesterday, and I showed him the Shred comic. We've talked about it before on the show, and I told him, I was like, I can easily order them online, but I'd rather find them organically. You know, it's more fun to find stuff organically. You know?
yeah, that's why, like, you know, back when I had a life, like all of us would go to comic shops and go hunting through the dollar boxes together.
I like
You know?
that, but I will say, sorry, but
Yeah.
I will say that I've had, as you've seen, index cards with all these comics I'm trying to find, and after so many years, it's like, I'm not going to find these, and so that's, thank God, there's online.
Yeah.
We-
Well, I'm just going to take umbrage real quick with him going, when I had a life. This man seriously plays out every freaking weekend, 2 nights a week half the time. I mean, dude, you are shuffling, going, raising a kid, working. I mean, you are constantly on the move.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, yeah, is his response.
Well, just to explain a little bit more about Dallas, he's a massive firm believer in licensing, and he's licensed himself. So whenever
It's not
there's
hard.
a
I have
band,
an army of bald dudes.
Yeah.
And, you know,
when he's in the band, he starts the band off. They're really good. They got Dallas's sound, and then he pulls up the license. Okay, you had me so far. You had to start paying the license. The band collapses. They can't afford it, or they change their name. And this goes on. Now he tried to pull this with us. Dallas started the show. He was on the show, and he pulls this. And the thing is, this show doesn't make any money. In your face, bullshit.
and you still make me do all the behind the scenes work.
we make him do all the behind the scenes work. You like that one? Oh, that's good.
So, yeah.
Crap. Oh, man.
Oh, well,
Guys, really, I can't thank you enough. This has been a huge help for me, you know, especially having somebody who knows what they're looking at. And, you know, you could have called me out on some of these books. You did call me out on some of these books as I was like, yep, that goes.
oh, we were calling you out off mic pretty bad, too, by the way. Actually, I was surprised. I came here thinking, I just want to come hang, but I thought, I'm not going to take anything. I ended up, I got I got a small pile.
Yeah,
so I'm happy to get
Yeah,
them.
I got a little treasure too. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yep.
Thank
That's
you.
what this is all about. Is passing the treasures on to the next people that are going to enjoy them, take care of them. You know, pass them to the next and the next. You know, when I purge like this, it is absolutely meant for the books to go somewhere to someone. You know. Heck, as I was going, I found a couple books that somebody asked me about. Hey, do you have any of this? And I said, no, I've already gotten rid of all that. Well, it turns out I have 2 of them. You know, so I messaged him. He's out of state right now, but it's 2 books. I can hold on till he gets back. You know, and then everything that's left is you know, gonna get offered to somebody who offered to, you know, take the whole stack, and if he doesn't want anything, it's gonna just go to kids. Start handing out kids comics. Too bad it's not Halloween.
Right? Trick or treat here, kid. Take some
There was a guy I worked with back in the early 90s, and he was talking about that for Halloween. He was giving out comics. He said, kids, is this the house giving comics? They were all excited about it.
Yeah,
So,
can you imagine that? Like, all of a sudden, like, we normally get like 1 or 2 trick-or-treaters, and I give one of them 1 or 2 kids a comic, and next thing you know, they're like hundreds of kids at my door. Hey man, you got comics? It's like, oh jeez.
that makes me happy to hear. So, all right. Well, we've kind of run our course. We apologize for all the pauses on this episode. But actually, there was no plan to do an episode, but I brought the recorder. Do you mind? So, anyway, we ended up doing it.
That's right.
So, everybody say hello to Dallas and goodbye for another few years.
Hello. Goodbye.
Until next time, everybody.
Read more comics!
If you would like to be part of the show, draw a fake comic book cover and we'll use it to promote our new episodes online.
If you'd like to promote your music, send us your MP3 and you can have a musical spotlight on the show. Plus, we'll add you on a link on our music page.
We have t-shirts designed available for you, so you can find them on the sidebar of the blog. Listen to the show, wear the shirt.